Hey everybody, it's Chris from Beer Bearings. Welcome back to another Beer of the Week on this Friday. This week I am going to satisfy another group member request for a beer. If you remember, a few weeks ago I posted asking about beers that I should try in these videos. Mark Bologna, who is a group member and also the host of the Beyond Bourbon Street podcast, sent me a request to do something from Bayou Teche. I had a look back then and they actually weren't in the market. They changed distributors and it took a little while for the market to be replenished with their beer, but I did find some last week at 504 Craft Beer Reserve. Thank you guys. This is Acadie. It is their Farmhouse ale, and that's what we're going to get into today. So you might remember, and I'm going to go ahead and open it and give it a pour. You might remember that we talked about Farmhouse ales as recently as 2 weeks ago when I was at 1781 Brewing in Virginia. So they did their own version of a Farmhouse ale using a lot of their own ingredients right there on the farm. These guys, who are out in Arnaudville, Louisiana, which is about 130 miles from New Orleans, or at least from where I'm sitting in New Orleans. And so, you know, you have to kind of mean to be going out there. But they are certainly taking their own approach to making a farmhouse style. So if you remember, farmhouse styles were made by farmers for their own sustenance, basically. And they used whatever they had at hand. And some of them were probably pretty rough. They were probably all a little bit sour because of the way they made them. So that tradition carries on today, but with modern equipment and modern ingredients. So these guys are using, first of all, European malts, lots of pale malt. As you can see, this is a really beautiful kind of pale golden color. And also sapphire hops, which give off spice and fruit and kind of tangerine notes. You can see this really beautiful persistent head it's got going on too, which is exactly what you're looking for. It's just brilliant white and gorgeous. Definitely get that tangerine note that I was told I would get on their website. Definitely, and also like a saison yeast character, a little bit of a mixed fruit, sort of mixed berry character as well. So farmhouse beers cover a wide spectrum. They're all ales and they've all got some common characteristics, but this one I would say is very, not quite as peppery as some, but definitely high on the fruit end. I definitely get the kind of spiciness in the tangerine from the hops as well. Some of these beers actually have spice additions, things like star anise and peppercorns and so on. This is not one of those according to their information, but it's just delicious. This is another really good example of a chameleon-like beer. By that I mean it'll pair with all kinds of things. They're one of the few breweries actually that puts food pairing ideas on their website. And they suggest pairing this with things like brie cheese and chev, also fried seafood and chicken and sausage jambalaya, just to name a few things. Fried seafood is pretty ubiquitous in Louisiana, and the only problem with seafood is most of it does not come out of the ocean fried, but we take care of that down here. So those are some of the kinds of things that you could pair with this. I'm going to say again what I usually say about farmhouse beers, which is it would be great for brunch as well, especially with more savory brunch dishes. So keep on the lookout for farmhouse or saisons or that sort of thing for your brunch. It's not just for mimosas anymore. You know, you can have a nice beer with it. So let's talk about Acadie. So Acadie is the French word for Acadia, which is the Canadian region where the Acadians came from. There was a diaspora from there beginning in about 1715 and carrying on for the next many years. Many of those people migrated down to Louisiana and wound up out in the Bayou region, which is where Arnaudville is. There's still a lot of French spoken out there, and they're still carrying on a lot of their traditions, their musical traditions. They have their very own Mardi Gras traditions out there and so on. So there's a lot of different things that are still carried on in the culture. So again, Bayou Teche out in Arnaudville, Louisiana, about 130 miles from where I'm sitting anyway in New Orleans right now. Get out there and enjoy them. If you can't make it out there, look for them in your nearby bottle shop or your bars and restaurants that you frequent down here. There are a lot of places that have this on their list because it's a great beer with food, as we talked about just a couple of minutes ago. Tell me what's in your glass this week, and tell me in the comments below if there's a different beer you'd like me to focus on in upcoming weeks. Tell me what you think of these videos. Tell me anything you want to tell me about beer. If you're watching me on Facebook, I would appreciate it if you would invite your friends to join the group. And if you're watching me on YouTube, I would love it if you would like and subscribe and tell your friends about the channel. Until next time, I'll see you right back here on Beer of the Week. Bye-bye.